What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this 2019 Toyota 4Runner TRD Off Road. Huge shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville. They're providing this truck for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website down in the description below. They have a massive selection of all the brand new Toyotas, so definitely check them out. Let's get into the 4Runner. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in Barcelona red metallic and has an MSRP just over $40,000. Underneath the hood, this features a 4-liter, 6-cylinder engine that pumps out 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to a 5-speed automatic transmission. This vehicle is equipped with 4-wheel drive. And running off a 23-gallon fuel tank, you can expect to get 17 miles per gallon in the city and 20 out on the highway. The wheelbase comes in at 109.8 inches with a length of 191.3. We get a width of 75.8 inches and a height of 71.5. Like the trim level suggests, the TRD Off Road is designed for more off-road situations. It has an overall ground clearance of 9.6 inches, approach angle at 33 degrees, departure angle at 26 degrees, and a breakover angle of 19.8 degrees. Curb weight comes in around 4,700 pounds, and with the Class 2 receiver, this can tow around 5,000 pounds. This generation of Toyota 4Runner has a really aggressive design. You'll see massive openings in the front grille with large mesh just to give it an aggressive look. Specific to the TRD Off-Road 4Runners, this has a silver portion in the lower part of the front bumper, help giving it some great contrast, especially with the Barcelona red. Coming up to the hood, you'll notice the scoop on it that a lot of the TRD models will have. We get projector beam headlights that even have a bulge in the housings on the farthest ends just to help give it a wider appearance. A lot of angles are found in the front end that flow very nicely to the rest of the vehicle. This also has body-colored fender flares as well as body-colored side mirrors and door handles. This has 17-inch wheels finished off in a two-tone design. We have the machine silver as well as the gloss black, and ventilated disc brakes are in all four corners as well. The overall side profile has a very modern and proportional design to it. However, it still retains some of the old school designs of a traditional body-on-frame SUV. We have large side windows as well as a steeply raked windshield, just giving it a more boxy appearance. And then moving our way to the roof, we get satin black roof rails to finish off, and then on the side we have the TRD Off-Road badge. And then moving our way to the rear end of the 4Runner, this features LED taillights with more three-dimensional looks to it. You can see how they stick out in the sides as well. One of the traditional 4Runner design aspects is the sliding rear window. You can open and close this window using a button on the interior. You can also insert the key, hold it to the left, and it'll automatically go down. And then holding it to the right, the window will go up as well. This also features a spoiler mounted up top with your third brake light. This does a really good job if you are driving the SUV with this window down. The spoiler helps eliminate any wind intruding into the interior, making it a more comfortable ride if all 5 windows are down. This has some nice contours in the entire liftgate, just giving it an aggressive look. Actually resembles the front grille as well. We get a satin black portion with chromed out 4Runner and Toyota badge. The rear view backup camera is located in the center as well as the grab handle to open up the tailgate. The rear bumper has some trim on the top to prevent any scratching, and then we also have the silver trim just like on the front bumper in the rear, as well as the Class 2 hitch, and then your exhaust tip. So there's a good look at the exterior of the Toyota 4Runner as well as some of the specifications to it. What do you guys think of the 4Runner? This is really a classic SUV in a modern world. This is kind of the retro body-on-frame old school design that we don't really see from its competitors. I'm a big fan of them. My dad has owned 2 of them, so I've been around these vehicles quite a bit. The Barcelona red is a beautiful color. I like the black accents to it, and just the overall design is very aggressive looking, and it looks like an off-road SUV, but it still is comfortable and very nice for the daily driving. So now we're going to go ahead and take the key, go ahead and unlock the vehicle. We can take a look at the interior. This one is finished off in a black cloth interior. You can opt for the premium trim level, which will give it the heated leather seats as well as a sunroof. Taking a look at the door panel now, this features black leather all along it. We also have red stitching to help give it a great contrast. Very comfortable armrest with some nice padding in it for your elbow. We have a grab handle right here, very bulky and easy to grab. It's all finished off in a metallic black trim. We have all automatic windows up top as well as your lock and unlock. A little bit of storage down here. You can easily slide your phone or a wallet. And then we get 2 cup holders in the bottom as well as more storage. And then hopping our way inside the vehicle, this has 4Runner TRD Off-Road floor mats, which have a great look to them. Black cloth seats with a 2-tone design. There's a nice pattern in the center to give it some more contrast. All your power controls are over on the side. You have forward, back. You can tilt the seat as well, different directions. Your recline as well as your lumbar support. The seats have great support to them. Really nice look overall. Headrest up top. And then moving our way inside, we get the black leather steering wheel with perforated leather on the sides and the black trim as well. And sitting inside the 4Runner, we can go ahead and insert the key into the ignition and start it up. On the steering wheel, we have controls over on the left side to control the screens, as well as the volume control. On the right side, we have Bluetooth and audio controls, as well as a display button. That'll change the screen in the center. We have your current MPG. You can scroll through to see your range, elapsed time, your speed. If any doors are open, it'll show an animation. We have the tachometer over on the left side, as well as engine temperature and fuel up top with your gear, and then your speedometer over on the right side. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have all of your mirror controls, as well as the brightness intensity for the interior gauges. We have one of the air vents over on the left side, a nice material running along the entire dash. Then making our way to the center of the dash, this has that same trim that you find on the door panels. We have the clock in the center, as well as 2 air vents and your hazards. Looking at the touchscreen display, you have shortcut keys over on the left and the right. You can hit the audio button to go to your different audio settings. We have Bluetooth, AM, FM radio, XM, and other things like that. Tapping the apps icon, this is kind of the main menu. You can go into your navigation to take a look at your map. Going back to that, we have traffic information, weather information, maintenance, and other items like that. Hitting the actual home button, you can set up 3 different items, which is really nice for Toyotas. We have the navigation, the audio, and your phone, and you can all configure this. You can have 2 things, pretty much whatever you'd like. Then taking the vehicle, putting it into reverse, the backup camera comes up. We even have guidelines on it, and it is nice so you can see the entire rear bumper. So if you have a trailer hitch, it's very easy to line this up to connect to a trailer. And then over on the right side, we have your scrolling for different audio settings, as well as your seek and track buttons. Volume and power is over on the left side. Down below the screen, we have your climate controls. You have your intensity for the fan speed, the recirc. Your different zones are all in the center, as well as your AC control. All the defrost buttons, and then your temperature over on the right side. And then below that, we have even more storage space. You can fit a phone or a wallet and other items down here. We even get auxiliary and USB ports. In the center, we have a cup holder up front with a removable rubber piece, depending on what size cup you have up here. A little bit of storage. The TRD shift knob with some red stitching in the front. Your shift pattern is right here. You can shift using the actual shifter if you are doing any type of off-roading or towing. There's a nice carbon fiber design to it. And then this button right here is all automatic for the rear window. Just pressing it down once, it goes all the way down. And then pulling it up once, it goes all the way up. So that's a very nice convenient feature. We have another cup holder and some more storage. This is also removable just like the front piece. And then in front of that, we have your 4-wheel drive selector. We have 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, 4 lows in the top right, and then neutral is right over here. Right now we're in 2-wheel drive high, just pulling it straight back. We're in 4-wheel drive high. It lights up on the dash as well. And then pushing it to the right and forward all the way. That's now 4-wheel drive low. Everything will come up on the dash. Traction control is off. We're now in the lowest setting. And then up in the top of the vehicle, we have your locking differential, your 8-track, as well as traction control. We have more off-road controls right here, your different terrain selectability. We can turn this on and off, and then scroll through different settings depending on what type of obstacles you'll be encountering off-road. All the way over in the right, that is the rock setting. Going over once in the left, we have mogul, and then we have a loose rock, and then a mud and sand and dirt. So really nice that has this type of off-road capabilities. You can turn that on and off. Multi-terrain select has been canceled as I turn it off. Then we have a speed control right here, like the crawl control you get in the Tacoma. Basically a slow speed cruise control for off-roading. And then back in the center of the 4Runner, we have your leather armrest right here with some red stitching on it. Opening this up, we have quite a lot of space in here. Very easy to fit many different items in here. You even got a storage pocket on the door itself. And then to take a look at the glove box, just pressing the button, it opens up. This is more of a shelf design glove box, so you can see how everything is laid out. A lot of space in here, just like you'll find throughout the vehicle. Definitely a lot of good storage areas in the 4Runner. This has a nice aluminum colored accent over on the right side, just giving it a really cool look. We can get a great look at the overall interior, how the door panel looks, the contrast against the seats. These cloth seats are actually very nice and comfortable. The material is very soft, which is nice to be sitting in. Then an overall look at the interior. To now take a look at the rear seat space, we can go ahead and open up the door. The rear door panels are finished off just like you get in the front. We have the same leather design with all the red stitching, same type of padding as well, and the really nice large grab handle. You have your door release handle up there, the same storage in the door as well, and then 2 cup holders down below. Taking a look at the interior now, these seats do fold down in many ways. You can pull this up, and then pressing a button right back here, the seat will fold down. The headrest will rotate forward as well and slide right into a place into the backs of these seats. You can see how nice everything folds down. Everything folds down perfectly flat. You can gain access to the rear, and then lifting that up, very easy to do. Just pull the headrest up, and then close these down. It is nice that these headrests do fold down for better visibility for the driver. And then now hopping in the back seat of the 4Runner, I have the driver's seat set to my height, which is 5'11". When you're sitting in the back here, it is a higher up position. You can actually see over the headrest, which just helps give this an open feeling for being in the back. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of riding in the back seats of vehicles, but with the 4Runner, you're nice and high up. You actually have a lot of room back here. The seats are reclined at a really good angle. There is a lever right on the side, so I can recline them actually quite a bit, and you can see just how much more reclined this is than the seat next to me. But there's a lot of comfort in here. You can actually go on a very long road trip. I've done 18-hour road trips in the backseat of a 4Runner, and it is a pretty comfortable ride, even at 18 hours, but it'll go all the way up to straight up. But it is nice that you can maneuver these rear seats into a very comfortable spot. Automatic windows are in the rear as well. You can see this window right here, so it's very open and comfortable. I have plenty of legroom. As you can see, I have like 6 inches in front of my knees. My feet fit nicely underneath the seat. We have climate control vents down here as well, and some USB ports, and then a 12-volt over on the left. And then behind the front seats, there is a storage net, which is a really great touch, but definitely a lot of space in the back seats of the 4Runner. And then the center seat has a latch you can pull. This will fold right down. We have an armrest here as well as 2 more cup holders. The removable rubber piece depending on the size of the cups you have back here. So this is a 3-seater back here or a 2-seater depending on the configuration. And then closing that up to take a look at the rear storage space, the button is right in the center. Electronic button, just press that once, lift the gate up very easily. You can opt for a 3rd row seat in the 4Runner depending on which trim level you get. You have a ton of space back here as you can see. You can even see the one seat over on the left is reclined a little bit compared to the larger seat. But Toyota did a really good job making the fenders not too large back here. There is a storage pocket on each side, as well as a larger one on the right side over here. And now with the 2nd row folded all down, you can see just how much space you have in the back of this vehicle. Toyota did not want to stray from this being a utility vehicle. So it's really nice how you have so much space back here. You even have a 12-volt and a 3-prong outlet in the back, just making this vehicle even that much more usable. And then to close it up, we have a handle on each side, as well as a strap. Just pull it down. Very easy to do. And then we'll take one last look at the 2nd row just to see how everything looks with everything folded down. You can see how usable it is for dogs, for items. Pretty much anything you're gonna need to fit, I think you can fit it in a 4Runner. Alright guys, so we are setting off now in the Toyota 4Runner. As a lot of you know, I have a ton of experience in this. My dad had a 2007, had that for about 160,000 miles, traded that in for a brand new 2016, and he's had that for now 70,000 miles so far. So I've been in these things quite a bit. One of the nicest appeals, I think, with the 4Runner is the fact that it is still an old school truck SUV. Pretty much every other vehicle in this class now is some sort of crossover. So I like with the 4Runner, it's still a tough truck, you know, body on frame, it's great for off-roading, it's very rugged. It's a very simple design, which makes it even more reliable. This is probably one of the most reliable vehicles you can get. And on top of that, the usability is so nice. You can go off-roading with this, you can tow with this. There is so much space in the back, so people can fit very comfortably in the back of this if you're going on some sort of long road trip or something like that. Even just the daily driving commute, it's really comfortable. Getting the seat positioned where I like it, there's a lot of movement to it. All electronics, so I can get it in a really good position. The steering wheel moves in every way that I need it to go. Visibility is really good, and that's one of my favorite things about this generation for the 4Runner. The windshield is a little bit farther forward than you would expect in other SUVs, but with that, it just makes it to where there's so much glass around you where you feel like it's so open, and that's probably one of the biggest things I like about it. The mirrors do a great job, the center mirror does a great job as well, just overall visibility, left and right shoulder. There's really no blind spots in this, which is great. It is a larger size SUV. It's not the biggest thing out there. It's not a Sequoia, but it's not a RAV4 at the same time. So I like how, given its size, a pretty normal medium-sized SUV, I like how it's easy to park, it's easy to place, it's easy to see around to where it's actually an easy vehicle to drive. And then when you do look at the front corners of the vehicle, you can see the whole hood from your driving position, which I think makes it even easier to place the vehicle in tighter spaces. You can tell where the corners are, so if you're pulling into your driveway or pulling into your garage, you don't have to worry about not quite knowing exactly where the farthest corners of the vehicle are. And then for overall comfort, just driving the car in normal circumstances, we're going about 40 miles an hour right now. The road, nothing special, but the suspension absorbs the bumps very nicely. You know, this is set up more for off-road, which means it's going to have a little bit softer suspension. And even just going over some contours in the road, it's floating over them very nicely, which I really like. And then as we come to a stoplight, hitting the brakes are pretty touchy. They do a really good job as well. As for acceleration, just getting up a little bit, we'll get right up to about 40 miles an hour. You know, it's not the fastest SUV out there, it's not trying to be, but it's adequate. It gets up to speed just like you would expect. The 4-liter V6 packs a nice enough punch to get you up and going on the highway. It's not, you know, a supercharged V8 or a V8 for that matter, but at least given the power plant that it has with the transmission and how everything works together, it's something you really can't complain about. It gets up to speed, it does what you need it to do, and it just makes for the driving dynamics very good. You know, it's a normal car to drive, and then you also know that underneath it's still a truck, so it's rugged, it's great for the off-roading, it's great for pretty much anything you can throw its way. And then as far as the interior for creature comforts, it's a modern vehicle. You know, we have your navigation system, the backup camera. You can opt for different trim levels and get more luxuries than this particular spec. Of course, you can get sunroof, heated seats, you can get the push start, smart key, parking sensors, all sorts of things like that. And even with this car, you know, with the navigation system, the whole Bluetooth audio and everything like that, it has all the modern amenities that you're gonna want. So then to wrap up the test drive in the 4Runner, we're gonna go ahead and get out on the highway just to see what higher speed cruising is like. Taking this sharp turn for the on-ramp. You know, there's really not too much body roll in the vehicle. Of course, there is some, given what this vehicle is, but I like how it still is composed for higher speeds like that. And then getting up on the highway, just merging, you know, easy to see over my left shoulder, getting right up to 70 miles an hour just like that, getting in the flow of traffic. There's really not too much noise. You can hear really no wind noise, maybe just the slightest bit around the mirrors, but nothing that's really intrusive into the cabin. I think this is a very well insulated vehicle. There's no tire noise, nothing weird. It's just very comfortable. And cruising on the highway now, I mean, it tracks perfectly straight. It's just a comfortable SUV. So I like how even this being, it's not the fully loaded off-road version like a TRD Pro, but even being more the off-road version, you know, this thing is great on the highway, great around town, and just a pretty good overall vehicle, and then still has all the fun aspects too. It can tow a lot, it can off-road a lot, and it's probably one of the coolest looking SUVs out there. It doesn't really look like everything else. All the other SUVs seem to be just that crossover design. The bumpers are all integrated into the vehicle. This one just looks like a truck on a frame, but in an SUV form. But that is going to wrap it up. Once again, huge thank you and shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this vehicle for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website down in the description below. They have a huge selection of all the new Toyotas. They can get you pretty much any Toyota you would like, so definitely check them out. But that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. See you all next video.